My name is Angela Hook, and I'm an LPC intern. And on today, I want to come and share with you on how to manage stress. If you think about all the things that's going on in our society today, it has really took our stress level to another level. And what I mean by that is, if you think about the pandemic, all the children that have been forced to be at home, we have mothers and fathers that have been forced to leave their jobs. We have children that have went without food. I mean, think about it. It causes a high level of stress. We have mothers that never had the opportunity to stay home with their children all day. On top of that, they have to do homework. They have to attend to the needs of the children. And some parents are accustomed for their children being away for 8 hours a day. And so all that really takes a turn. If you think about it, the high rate of domestic violence have went up extremely high. We also look at the high rate of suicide have extremely went up. So let's talk about that. You know, I think about one scripture it talks about in Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. And so that's the thing that I want to stand on. Each day has its trouble of its own. But when you think about stress, sometimes we think about stress from a very basic standpoint. And on today, I'm going to be sharing different levels of stress with you. What is stress? Stress isn't all bad. At lower levels, stress prepares us and our bodies for day-to-day challenges by boosting our energy level. It also improves our cognitive performance and help us to be able to focus our attention. It's when stress is too extreme or it lasts too long that becomes very problematic. You may be thinking only adults deal with stress. No, children deal with stress. Young adults deal with stress. So as we go through this, think about that from that standpoint. Unhealthy levels of stress contribute to heart disease, anxiety, depression, relationship discord, drug use, weakened immune system, and much more. But oftentimes, stress hides behind more prominent issues where it amplifies uncomfortable emotions and triggers unwanted behavior. So let's look at some of the stress responses. Physical, headaches, muscle pain, affects our sleeping patterns, affects how we eat. We may overly eat or not eat at all. Long-term serious illnesses. That's a physical aspect. Now let's look at the emotional aspect. A loss of concentration, focus, a lack of patience, affects our relationships. It causes depression, anxiety, panic attacks, and also indecisive and forgetful memories. So sometimes you may be dealing with people and they tell you, I'm just stressed. And I would really encourage you to take the time just to say, what does that mean and what does that look like for you? Because many times, again, we look at stress from a general standpoint, but some people deal with stress totally different. Some people may be thinking about, you know what, I'm going to commit suicide because I'm stressed. So we have to take time to do some deep dives when people say, I'm stressed. So again, many different ways that it affects our bodies. Sometimes we deal with short-term memory. Sometimes it can affect have heart problems. Sometimes we can have skin and hair conditions. All of this is a form of stress. So now we're going to talk about how do you manage stress? Everybody, again, deals with stress differently. So we have to be in tune with that. When people are talking about, I'm stressed, we have to be willing to sit down and give them some tools on how to manage stress. So number one, we're going to look at, want to prioritize your responsibilities. We want to focus on completing quick tasks first because having too many to-do lists can be stressful. Even if none of them are very big, quickly knocking out the small tasks will clear up your mind to focus on larger responsibilities. And you may be thinking, okay, prioritize? Yes. Many times we do not prioritize, which causes us to have a level of stress. But if we start looking at what's important and doing that first and making sure we do it in an appropriate time manner. I'll give you an example. When I was told that I had to do this session, I started preparing way in advance. I started thinking about what it is that I would like to say, what it is that I can touch the heart of the people. Because we all know stress have become one of the determining factors that have caused a lot of heartache and pain in the lives of people. So you want to prioritize. Number two, we want to keep things in perspective. In the heart of the moment, little problems can feel like that they are big. Why? Again, because we're not prioritizing. We want to make sure we prioritize. We also want to make sure that we talk with people. Being able to talk and letting people know, you know what, can I talk to you about what it is that I'm dealing with? Then another thing that we want to think about as we're dealing with stress, we want to make sure when we're talking about our problems that we're being honest. It's okay to feel stress, as long as we're not allowing that stress to begin to manage us in a way that we're not managing it. That's when it becomes a problem. The last one we're going to talk about is making sure that we have a call to action. And what I mean by that is, there's three things that we can do to reduce that stress. Reduce your worry. The Bible tells us, and which of you by worrying can add a single hour to his lifespan. Number two, give your concerns to God. Casting all your cares on him because he cares for you. And number three, learn to be content. Sometimes we're stressed because we're not content. The last thing that I want to give you before I close, we have 60% of U.S. adults that are feeling daily stress and worry, and that's by a Gallup poll by Linda Searing. She says this: daily stress and worry affect a majority of American adults. 60%, according to the new nationwide Gallup poll conducted March 21st to April the 5th, the finding represented that what Gallup described as an exceptional increase in the number of anxious Americans since last summer. However, the number of people feeling stress has risen 14% points, and the number feeling worried has climbed 21 points, representing 53 million more worried adults. So again, keep in mind, we want to make sure if we are in stress, one, prioritize your responsibilities. Two, talk about your problems. And three, we want to make sure we have a call to action. If you would like additional information on how that you can reach out to me in regards to managing your stress, you can go to my website at www.foreverevolving.services.